Are you concerned about the damage a terminated employee could cause with access to your sensitive corporate information, account passwords, and other proprietary data? Follow these 6 tips to protect your sensitive data from departing employees. If you've not yet heard about the risks of offboarding employees, I'll break down this security threat later in this video. Alright, let's get started. Number 1, follow a written employee offboarding process. An employee offboarding checklist is critical for keeping data safe. Without it, you risk leaving ex-employees with ongoing access to corporate systems well after their departure. In fact, an Osterman research study found that this was true for a whopping 89% of former employees. If you don't already have an employee offboarding checklist that's focused on data security, you can find one in our new white paper, How to Keep Data Safe When Offboarding Employees. The download link for that is in the description down below. Number 2, deprovision the ex-employee's access to all company resources, including domain logins, SaaS accounts, remote access tools, and Active Directory accounts. The deprovisioning process should be automated as much as possible. Using an identity and access management solution lets you revoke the ex-employee's access to all corporate assets at once. Services that can't be managed this way must be thoroughly documented to ensure that the ex-employee's access is fully revoked. During this process, you should also consider if there are any assets that need to be migrated to another employee, such as forwarding emails or transitioning ongoing projects. Number 3, take back any corporate assets that were given to the employee. This includes things like cell phones, laptops, keys, and identity cards. If these assets are left with the employee after their termination, they could use them to regain access to corporate systems. To strengthen this part of the process, you must maintain an IT inventory database with the possession of company assets intimately detailed. Before their last day, you should also have the ex-employee sign a written confirmation acknowledging that their access has been completely revoked and that all of the company property has been returned. Number 4, perform an exit interview. From an HR standpoint, an exit interview is the perfect opportunity to gain valuable feedback on the employee's experience and find opportunities to improve retention and engagement in the future. From an information security perspective, the exit interview may also provide warning signs that a departing employee is feeling disgruntled. While the 2020 Verizon Data Breach Investigations report found that 86% of data breaches are motivated by money, other motives such as revenge and gaining a competitive advantage in a competing company are factors that need to be considered. During the exit interview, you should overview all policies that the employee has previously agreed to, such as non-disclosure agreements and intellectual property rights. This ensures that they are aware that any data they manage to sneak away with does not truly belong to them. Number 5, announce the ex-employee's departure to relevant parties, including any clients and vendors that the employee worked with. This mitigates the chance that the ex-employee will use social engineering to trick someone into giving them access to something they shouldn't have access to. It's particularly important that you alert your IT personnel to the upcoming departure well in advance. This provides them with time to prepare for their offboarding process. That way, at the same time that the ex-employee is leaving the premises, they're also leaving your network. Number 6, monitor employee computer activity. Employee monitoring is critical for detecting incidents of data theft. It's particularly crucial during the 90-day period before an employee's departure, as this is the period where the data theft is most likely to occur. With CurrentWare's computer monitoring and endpoint security software, you can monitor employee computer activity for high-risk behavior, such as large file transfers to USBs, attempts to use unauthorized USB devices, and anomalous visits to cloud storage sites. For a more proactive approach, you can also block employees from accessing cloud storage sites and enforce the exclusive use of authorized USB devices. There are far more items you need to include in your IT offboarding checklist, but to keep things concise, I won't mention them all here. If you'd like to learn more, you can see the full checklist in our new white paper, How to Keep Data Safe When Offboarding Employees. It includes an overview of the causes, risks, and motivations of insider data theft, as well as the best practices for protecting your company's sensitive data against insider threats during the offboarding process. You can find a link for that in the description down below. Now that you know some of the best practices, you might be wondering, why is employee offboarding so dangerous? Employee offboarding presents significant data security risks. Your employees are in the optimal position to steal and vandalize your company's data. They have intimate access to it, insider knowledge of the organization's systems, and a level of trust that could allow them to steal data undetected. In fact, Info Security Magazine reports that 70% of intellectual property theft occurs within the 90 days leading up to an employee's resignation. As if that wasn't enough, 88% of IT workers surveyed by CyberArk admitted that they would take sensitive data with them if they were fired. The privileged access that IT employees have makes them especially dangerous. A key item to note is data theft doesn't exclude management. C-suite employees are just as dangerous. In fact, 72% of CEOs surveyed by Code 42 have stated that they've taken valuable intellectual property from their former employers. These vulnerabilities need to be addressed as part of your insider threat management program. That's it for today. If you're not already monitoring and restricting employee computer activity as part of your data loss prevention strategy, you can get a free trial of CurrentWare security solutions at currentware.com/download. And finally, if you found these tips helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the latest CurrentWare videos. This lets YouTube know you want to see more of us, and you'll be the first to know when we release our next video. See you next time.